Hello, beautifuls. My thoughts are all over the place, but this is going to be a debriefing of the live that I did on Friday. It's going to be yesterday, but I'm going to post this tomorrow, so that's going to be posted Sunday. So this is going to be a debriefing of the live that I did on Friday night. And then it's also going to be me honing in on a problem that I realized thanks to the crones who spoke that on last night. Like, thanks to those crones, like, I realized, okay, this is what it is. Okay, this is where our mothers got it wrong, and this is where we about to get it wrong again, right? So I'm going to talk about that, but first of all, I want to, debrief. And I've already did a debriefing with the ladies, and the ladies I'm in closer community with. Like, we debriefed last night and ran through it because, of course, they were present and during the live, and we just we debriefed, and now I'm having a public debriefing with all of us, with the whole entire ocean of daughters, right? So anyhow, it was alive. It was alive. And I did, call the crones to front. Look, y'all got to bring y'all asses to the front of the church, and that was kind of, it may have been kind of like, maybe, possibly, it might have been like so that we could like blame them for everything. Maybe. It may have seemed like that. Who knows? But, and really, like, not only who knows, but look, the older black women gotta tell us something. like really gotta tell us something. And if you've been here a while, my deep reverence for older black women and my extreme love for younger black women, and my, of course, respect, gratitude, shared sisterhood, love and devotion to mothers that are my age, like the middle-aged black woman, between the ages of 28 to 55, right? My actual sister or 54, my actual sister, right? The ones of us that's got to do some fucking work around here, right? So this about me, and you've known this about me for some time if you've been here. So even last night when if I did, and I probably did, called the crones, like, listen, y'all got to come and tell us something. Like, shit not making sense to us. Y'all got to come and tell us something. And, crones came and graced me with their presence. And it was simply Stephanie, it was Goddess Y, it was Dryerlent, and, of course, it was Cree. And, let me think. Okay, so yes, that was everybody that came up on stage. I wanted to make sure I got all the crones. I wanted to make sure that I included everybody that was there. It was a bunch of crones and me. And my sister was in the chat. My sister was in the chat supporting me, and the baby girls was just there watching, So anyhow, that was happening. And respectfully, I wanted to really know what the fuck happened. Like, when did you all drop the ball? Like, when did this fall from grace begin for black women? And I realized it was the same thing for both of us. Like, what I thought as a millennial, was our biggest issue is what the crone thought was our biggest issues as well. What the crones thought our biggest issues were as well. Like, this all happened, and that's kind of when we dropped the ball. And I just want to let millennials know, like, we get, now, we get to ask the crones now, like when did y'all drop the ball? Like, how did we get here? But those Gen Zers and Gen Alpha, they're going to be asking us, like, when did y'all drop the ball? Like, how did y'all let this happen to us? And what we have to live in now is livable a bit, but what they are going to have to live through in the future is going to be a lot more harder for them to live through. And damn it, if we don't do something now, it's gonna be bad. And I'm just talking to those black women who want to do something, like who want to do something. I know I got a little sweat in the game. You know what I'm saying? I got a daughter that got to live through this, and I have like nieces and nieces that I love and I adore who have to live through this mess, right? And I'm thinking about like, oh my goodness, it's gonna be so bad for them, right? And they get to and that's gonna be so bad for them, and they get to blame me. Like, ma, auntie, what did you do? Nothing, girl. I ain't do nothing. I minded my business. I let Sexy Red run the fucking muck. I let that image of black women run amok. I didn't do shit, and I don't think that we can do that. So anyhow, let's get back to the debriefing and not a call to action. But anyhow, so Simply Stephanie, let's talk about it, because it happened, and I actually like wanted to like take the live down because of it. Like, I wanted to just like scrap the whole live. If you want to see that live, you got to come back into my Patreon and Discord. I'll put it there and I will take it down from this YouTube channel, right? For two reasons. The first reason is because I don't really watch Simply Stephanie's videos. Like, I know that she's another YouTube content creator. What I do know about her is, I saw her on RWS Live, because y'all know I take my ass over there on RWS Live. I don't comment because I don't want RWS cussing me the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want RWS cussing me the fuck out, so I don't be commenting. And not because I have some fear of RWS. Like, it's just because I feel like RWS is of the same bloodline as me. Like, maybe lesser, in a lesser bloodline, like not full mother or mother of daughters, but like definitely, more of us than them, right? And I don't want to argue with my sister. And like, she over there, she being, some days she good, some days, she a little bit on the self-loathing side. And, it's hard for black women. It's hard for black women. Life is hard for black women in some cases. So I don't want to be commenting and, getting cussed the fuck out by RWS and then have to take it. Cause I, like what I said, in my, like, let's remain a holy thing. Like, let us remain a holy thing. Like, I don't want to beef with those women of my own bloodline. I just don't want to do it. And I'm not. Right? So I be over there, and I saw her cussing Simply Stephanie ass the fuck out. I can't remember when it was over, but yeah. And then I've also heard that, Simply Stephanie, she travels around on the YouTube spaces. But the thought to me is that the fact that she is going around to every YouTube channel, like, trying to find community and sisterhood is that's kind of mother of daughters like to me. Because usually the other bloodline don't really be wanting community. Like, they don't really be wanting to fuck with other black women. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. And then the second thing is her march. The march that she went to California for. Well, that march was actually orchestrated by the LGBT community, and I am anti-LGBT community. In case you did not know, in case y'all never knew that, here I am to let us know. There are videos that I have shared, that I have talked about, my position and my stance on that community, eating black women, like the black lesbians in that community is just food. And, not that I have anything, of course, against lesbian or bisexual black women, of course, like, that's not the case. It's the community which is eating black women. I don't fucking like it. for the overwhelming majority of gay black males don't like black women. The overwhelming majority of gay white males don't fucking like black women. The fucking trannies don't fucking like black women. So I'm, them bitches anti me and I'm fucking anti them. And there was already a black femicide thing that was going on. Rosa dirtied that the fuck up by dealing with the fucking mother thuns. And I mean, at this point, if you're still rocking with the fucking mother thuns and all that whole fucking crazy group of women, then I gotta start questioning your fucking sanity. Or your need for friendship and approval, and how your need for friendship and approval from the collective of loser black women loser black women, your need for that. I have to question, why would a woman of our bloodline need that? We don't need that. If we needed that, when I used to go inside of those spaces and them women used to be eating out of my ass, I would have gladly jumped on board too. I didn't need that, right? So to watch Rosa need it and to stay in it, it makes me question her. But the point I'm trying to make is, it was already a black femicide thing going on. We didn't need no fucking lesbian, and no fucking tranny group to pick it up. That's not what we needed as black women. That's never what we need as black women. For the record, black women never need ex-wives to pick up anything that black women are doing. We just don't need it. I don't give a fuck if it's a tranny or not. The ex-wives should never be picking up anything that black women have been doing, co-opting it, trying to run your own. I don't give a fuck how I feel about Rosa and the whole group of women that she deal with. And for the record, I have said it several times, that first Black Women's March, that little tiny one in Atlanta, Georgia, that Rosa hosted, that the Pink Pill was at and no one else was at, I was there. I dragged my daughter from her HBCU and dragged her ass to that fucking march so that we could be there. So, and though I, may be a little wary now about Rosa, right? I may be a little wary now about Rosa. What I do know is that black women or black femicide is safer in Rosa hands than it could ever be in the hands of a fucking tranny. So when I found out that was what Stephanie was on, I was a little bit confused. Wait a minute. The crones of my, bloodline know fucking better. They don't know what's going on all the way with the fucking trans. It's some freaky, nasty shit. You know what I'm saying? But even if that's all they know about it, they're not going over there with the fucking trans, right? And there was some pushback, to simply Stephanie about that she just was basically I don't really care. It's about black women and so on and so forth. But we do have to care. We have to care about who is representing black women. And this is a fucking problem for us, I'm realizing. The misrepresentation of black women across the globe is a fucking problem. It is our biggest problem, possibly. Is what I'm realizing. So, I'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to stay on Stephanie right now. So, that happened. So, you got two things happening with Stephanie that's kind of having me question, who the fuck is she? You know what I'm saying? Who is she? What's going on? And I'm always looking at black women like that. Who is she? Which bloodline is this? I can't fucking tell, right? And then last night on my live, she comes and she, speaks. And for no reason at all, the generational gap thing comes up, which we really don't really delve in too much over here. We do understand that there is a difference in generations, and that some things happen on this generation's watch and some things happen on this generation watch, and now these babies about to have to live in all of our mess, right? All of our mess. And when I say babies, I mean literally babies, 12, 13-year-old little black girls about to live in all of our mess. Unless we do something about it now. And we need to be discussing it generationally so that we can decide, wait a minute, what happened? So that, okay, we can realize, okay, this is where this generation got it wrong. And this is where this generation further got it wrong. And here is where millennials are still getting it the fuck wrong. And what do we do now to fix it? Because now I realize, okay, I'm seeing like, oh, I see what we getting wrong. I'm beginning to see it, right? So anyhow, and we need that to be differentiated. We need to be able to speak to black women of every age and, face some hard questions. Like, we have to do that. And in the moment of that conversation happening, I don't want to use the word gaslit. Right? I don't want to say that I was gaslit because I wasn't really gaslit because it really didn't alter my reality. Like, I know what the fuck it was. Like, I know when I brought up that black women chose sons over daughters, that's an ancient fucking thing. That's an ancient fucking thing, right? There's no way that black women can get around it. There's no way that old black women can get around it. Like, there's no way. It's no way that millennials are gonna get around it. It's still fucking happening, pathetically. So when we say as millennials, listen, it was too much sons over daughters for us. It was too much. We big now when we realize how it was too much of that shit. And a black woman says to me, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. Like, come on. You don't. Like, get real. I didn't do it, and none of my friends did it either. None of your friends? You didn't know nobody that was sonning over daughters? That's impossible. I can't believe that, right? And let's just say hypothetically that was the only person that I had to get that answer from, right? And I needed for the older black woman to say, yeah, daughter, we got that wrong. We did. And not necessarily as I got it wrong or I did it with my children, but just like to have said, you know what? I receive what you're saying, and what you're saying is true. We fucked up on that, And I thought that was something easy. Like, we got real issues. One of the ladies that was in the chat was like, who the fuck was present for that fucking Freaknik? Like we got real issues that we can discuss as black women. Cause it wasn't us. We millennials, so we wasn't around for the fucking Freaknik. Damn it. So who mamas was popping pussy at the Freaknik? Okay, like who was it? Right? So we got real issues, some real conversations that we need to have that are going to hurt. And if we can't even just say, you know what, sons over daughters is an ancient thing that all black women have gotten wrong, then we're not going to be able to get past anything. And if all I had in the moment was simply Stephanie to like say, you know what, daughter, that was, yeah, we got that wrong. And there was no Cree on the stage to say, you know what? But listen, I look, when it's a supreme black woman present, we just have to give her flowers. Like, I know that I know that there are people who are going to be, who don't like the praise that I offer Cree. But, and even Cree doesn't like it, for the record. Like, Cree does not like me singing her praises. Like she doesn't like it. She doesn't need it. And she doesn't want it. The reason why I sing her praises is because she's truly phenomenal. Cree literally, like, I don't know if y'all noticed, but Cree really has no cards in this deck. None. She literally has no cards in this deck. None at all. On two different things. First of all, she did not give birth to any fucking dirty ass sons. And then second of all, she didn't give any birth to any black daughters. She didn't give birth to any black daughters, so she really gets to say, listen, my hands are clean. In the fucked upness of Blackistan, like in the fucked up of current Blackistan, I contributed nothing to it. Not only did I contribute nothing to it, I'm leaving nothing to it. Right? She really gets to say, and I think this is public knowledge. I'm quite sure this is public knowledge if you know who Cree is, right? She has a biracial a biracial disabled daughter who can or cannot, you know, she's at, you know, a childbearing age, you know, if God sees fit, you know, and it's done in the way that Cree needs it to be done, and it's done in the way in which Cree can know that her grandchildren will be safe, then, you know, if she wants, you know, black granddaughters, she can have them, right? But if she doesn't, she's not leaving any of the mess here. Like, she's not, like, her daughter, Cree will, as an old black woman, and Cree, and I'm going to talk about how Cree is okay with old, and, you know, she gave me the freedom to say old, and why I say old. As an old black woman, she's going to, you know, do the rest of her work on earth and phase out, of this realm. And if she hasn't figured out a way that is comfortable enough for her to have, continue her bloodline through her daughter, right? And not only have continued her bloodline, Cree has said to me, and I'll share with you all, and I'll share this video with Cree before I even share it so that she can, you know, approve it, that I'm okay, that it's okay that I share this. Cree has said is that she wants to, if she does have granddaughters, for them to be black, right? She does, right? She doesn't want any more biracial granddaughters. Like, if I'm going to have a granddaughter, like, I want to be able to look at her little black self and be like, there I go. There I go. Right there. Right? So, you know, in her wanting to her bloodline to live, she wanted to live through black women. She wanted to live through a black little girl. And if she can't do that, and she can't figure that out, how it's going to be done, then she's made up her mind of being, okay, this is it. My bloodline is dead, right? It's over. And, you know, her saying that, she gets to say, well, you know, this is it for me. Baby, my maternal bloodline is dead. It's dead, and that's it. And, yeah, we not even coming back. We're not even coming back, right? Or my thought and my theory is that black women come back through the same bloodline every fucking time. Every fucking time. So, if Cree does not have a granddaughter, there is no coming back for Cree, right? If we have to come back through our same bloodline, then there will be no coming back. What Cree leaves on earth in this lifetime is all that her bloodline of women will ever leave on earth, right? And Cree gets to say, you know what, I ain't had no fucking guns. My daughter is disabled and she ain't have no daughters. Baby, I get the rest easy. The mess, listen, whatever mess my family may have contributed, my bloodline of women may have contributed, it dies with me. That's it, right? And here she is in this space, and she's like, yes. As I'm like, Simply Stephanie, y'all got it wrong. I'm yelling from the rooftop as a millennial, as a woman who is her daughter's age. Like, listen, y'all got it wrong. Y'all gonna take some accountability for this shit, right? And Cree, who really does not have to, like, she gets to say, look, that's y'all shit. As the black women, that's y'all shit. Cree really gets to say, like, look, I ain't got no cards in this deck. But as a black woman who understands that every black woman in this field of work, like where we live at, over here in Ocean of Daughters work, every single black woman that's coming up after her, any goddamn qualms we got, like, you can take it up with me. Okay, daughter. Yes, we did. We chose sons over daughters. You're right. We did do that. And Cree says it in such a low, like she says it in such a low voice, like, yeah, daughter, you're right. We got it wrong. And it's why I'm so grateful for her in this space. And why I honor her in this space. This is her work, right? This is what she leaves. If there's nothing else from her bloodline, this is what she leaves. She leaves her legacy is the fact that I did really love black girls. I really did love black women. And in the last stretch of my life, I did what was necessary I'm doing what is necessary to ensure that we survive, even though my soul may not never come back, right? Even though my soul may never be here. In the last stretch of my life, this is literally the final hour. I'm sorry, Cree, if I'm, talking too much about this being like the last quarter, or is it the last trimester of your life in this way. But in the last hours, the last couple of hours of my life, what I'm going to do is dedicate it to Black women and girls. That is extremely fucking commendable. And if you needed to know, like, why is there so much praise of me to her, this is why. Because I understand her contribution to the world. To the world. We think like it's just a contribution to this little Ocean of Daughters channel. No, it's her contribution to the world. It's her contribution in having Black women remain a holy thing. And if Black women remaining a holy thing is determining all of the rest of humanity, this is a great, a huge, and a very commendable thing that she is doing. So if anybody needed to know why I do it and why I'm going to continue to do it, it's because no other Black woman, first of all, stepped into in the position to do it. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that she really did not have to. She really does not have to. Like, to be honest, she could live out the rest of her life, position her daughter in the way to live out the rest of her life, and just go. And she doesn't. She doesn't. She's going to stand in the fire. All right, if this is what the millennials need from me, if this is what the millennials need from me, for me to be able to help them over this hump, if this is what they need, then I'm here. And I'm truly appreciative of her for it. So that was all my flowers to Cree. That was all my flowers to Cree. And I might do it again, I might not. But if anybody needed to know, circle back to this video. Circle back to this video 5-10 years from now, and in the work that I do, and if 10, 15, 20 years from now, Cree is gone, and you wonder why 10, 15 years from now, 10, 15, 20 years from now, why there is a sacred space held for Cree, in whatever work I'm doing, this is why. This is why. All right, so I said all that, gave Cree all her flowers, and let's move on. But I do want to point out, what I was trying to point out was, she didn't have to, and there she was doing, and if that is all I had, and she is really all I have to really, Cree is really all I have to really be like, what the fuck was going on? What the fuck was going on? Right? Because there are a lot of Black women that are her age and older acting like, listen, I ain't had nothing to do with that. I ain't have nothing to do with that. And y'all not gonna fucking blame me. Right? And I'm raising a daughter, right? I know they need somebody to blame. My daughter be happy as shit to be able to tell me, I whipped my daughter. Did I whip her? Or I yelled at her. And I yelled at her about her defiance. Which, by the way, that Cree has also taught me that is not a dirty word. By the way, for Black women and girls, defiance is not a dirty word. And I'm yelling at her about her defiance. Girl, you gonna, I just now told your ass something, and you gonna stand firm in what the fuck it ain't. And I said, where the fuck did you get that from? And my daughter looked me square in the eye and told me, you. That's where I got it from. You. And not only did I get it from you, you should be accountable for it. Right? So now, today, my daughter likes to hear me say, my daughter loves to hear me say, and she loves to hear me say it on the first end because she gets to, gloat in it. Mine got it wrong. And second of all, she knows how extremely, it's one of the things that she admires about me. If you go back and listen to my video in which my daughter is on that Clubhouse room, she speaks about how I would just apologize. Like, I just give in. My daughter is the judge and jury on my mothering. I just give in. She said I got it wrong. I'd be like, I'm sorry. You did it wrong, Ma. This thing that you did, she mentioned how I, beat her for a year straight every day. She was bad in school. It was after my mother transitioned. It was after my mother transitioned. I'm grieving. She grieving. You know, she's being a fucking bully in school. Every day she came home, she bullied the school. When she came home, I bullied her ass. Right? And she speaks to this day about how I got that wrong. Like, she's not letting it go. And she loves me deeply. And I love her deeply more than anything else in the world. And I could possibly say today, and today years old, she loves me more than anything else in the world. And my daughter will bring that shit up and she will need another apology. She will need another apology. I didn't apologize for this shit 759 times. And not ever does it ever cross my mind to say, Puddin', I already apologized for that shit. No, you're not going to keep on doing that to me. No, every single time she brings it up, she needs me to apologize for it. She needs me to admit that I got it wrong, and I do. And it costs me nothing. So black women, older black women trying to fight us to the tooth and nail when we said that they got it wrong, trying to keep their hands clean, trying to say it wasn't me. No, what we need is the exact same thing that my daughter needs every single time she brings up how I got it wrong. Yeah, we got it wrong. We got it wrong, daughter, and now what? Now what do we do? Because, you know, your daughter's about to live in the mess of what we all got wrong. So you need me to say that I got it wrong. Here it is. I got it wrong. Whether it was me personally or not, I know that it happened. It happened on our watch, and it affected you all. And as a result, we got it wrong. And where do we go from now? It's really what we need. In case nobody understood it, why the young girls won't let y'all live and won't let y'all forget what y'all got wrong, because they just not. I don't know why my daughter needs me every couple of years to say, girl, I beat the shit out of you for a year straight, and that was dead fucking wrong. But she needs it. Every now and again, she gonna bring it up. And I be wanting to say, now all the mothering that I have done after that, all the mothering that I have done after that, the life that you get to live now, a life that the overwhelming majority of black girls don't get to live in. And your ass want to keep on bringing up that 1 year that I got it wrong. And I was grieving. See, this is the thing. I was grieving, and I was being abusive to her because I was grieving. She was going to school and fucking up in school because that was how she grieved. But I was grieving as well, and I was beating the shit out of her. Like, I don't mean like beating the shit out of her, y'all. Like, I mean like with a belt. Like, she was getting a beating often. Okay? I don't mean, you know, she was getting a beating often. Every day she was bad in school, she got a beating, right? And I was grieving, right? I was fucked up. And I don't get to tell her, oh, Puddin', I was fucked up and that's why I fucked you up. Like, no. What the fuck? What the fuck? The hurt people shit, that don't apply over here. What the fuck is that? Oh, I was fucked up, so I fucked you up. Like, what? Ma, say sorry. I want you to say that you got it wrong. I want you to apologize for getting it wrong. Every fucking time. I don't want to fucking hear that you was going through. That was my fucking grandmother that died too. I don't want to fucking hear it. It's the position that my daughter is in at 22 years old and just her little tiny life. You know, her little tiny life here. She remembers how I got it wrong and won't let me let go of it. And even though I was going through as well. So when Simply Stephanie is having this moment, she's having this exact moment. She literally went on to say that, you know, I was hurt and I was harmed and I went through, and Black is saying, and literally said hurt people. Right? That was literally came out of her mouth. And I'm just here to tell, like, older black women, like, that's not what we need to hear. What we really need to hear, again, let Cree be the example. That's what the fuck we need to hear. We need to hear a low, yeah, we did it and it was wrong. Like, that's what we need to do. We don't, listen, the loud voice that you grew us up with, the yelling, the mother got it right and never got it wrong tone, we don't even want to hear that tone. No, that's not even the tone we want to hear it in. We want to hear it in the, yeah, daughter, I got it wrong. Yep, I did. Right? So when we go on about this, generational gap between black women, it's one thing for me, for like the average black woman to just like be oblivious. For the average black woman to just be oblivious and just like not know what's going on. I'm not going to apologize. I didn't do it. And y'all, you know, y'all young women not going to blame me for it. That's one thing. But for a black woman that's in a leadership role, who was positioned, like, you don't have to position yourself in a leadership role. But if you're going to position yourself in a leadership role, then at some level, you need to understand that you are mothering, right? And just like I had to go in the shower and cry, right? I had to go in the shower and cry. I couldn't cry in front of Pudding because I didn't want her to know, like, damn, we was going through, right? You have to go in the bathroom in your leadership role and cry. And if you can't position yourself in a leadership role, if you have to throw on all your traumas on us, then maybe you should do a little bit of healing first before coming into a space of a leadership role, right? And that was some of what I did. Like, I had to realize some of the mess that I was in, deal with a lot of my healing, a lot of the things that I was angry about before I came into this space. Because if I'm in this space and little black girls, and I'm just like, look, I know y'all don't want to be called little black girls, but y'all little. And little 20-something-year-old black girls are going to be looking for me to mother and looking for me to lead them. I don't get to dump all of my shit on them. I don't get to dump all of my shit onto them. That's just not right. They are living in a condition far worse than what I lived through. The 14-year-old black girl today that gets pregnant in Pakistan by the 21-year-old black male, there will be absolutely no way for her to make it. There will be absolutely no way for her to make it. The literal miracle that is my daughter, she will never be able to produce that. She ain't even got a fighting fucking chance. So, again, I'm on stage and you got Cree, who was, you know, did a lot of healing, right? And even if you've been around, like, for a little while, like, Cree shit, like, it come in and then knock you on your ass because she doesn't even really talk about it often. And then when you hear it, like, when I'm hearing it now, because, you know, Cree's not, you know, dumping on me. But, you know, some things I just have to know, right? Some things I just have to know. And then, like any other black woman, like, you see them as this glorious thing, right? You see them as this glorious and this holy thing that is just, you know, so grand and so great. It's really how you see your mothers, right? So grand and so great. She went through so much and she just survived it. And then you really begin to hear, like, literally what she went through. And you're just like, wow, what in the fuck? You just think like, wow, what in the fuck? Like, I cannot believe that you survived this. And that part needs to come naturally. It's because me and Cree have become, you know, have built a more personal relationship, right? A more personal relationship that is literally like mother and daughter, not like I'm positioning her in just a leadership role, or she's positioned herself in a leadership role. She doesn't do that. Like, she doesn't do that. That isn't positioning yourself in a leadership role. Is not even the crone's position. Baby, listen, I survived all of life. I don't want to fucking fight no fucking more. I don't want to fucking fight no more. I don't want to fucking fight no more. I don't want to be putting together no fucking black women's marches and shit. Y'all need to do that fucking work. I can advise now. I can tell you the best way to get it done. I can show up. But that is y'all fucking work. Damn it. Right? So because she's not, you know, in a technical leadership role, in this space, right? Then she gets her accolades and she isn't looking for them. She's not looking for them at all. Like, I'm here, baby. What you need me for? You need me to tell you what happened in, 1975. You need me to tell you what happened in 1975. I got it. You need me to, like, brainstorm, use my exquisite intelligence while still functioning. You better hurry the fuck up and get it. You better hurry the fuck up and get it. You better hurry the fuck up and get it. Is where she is. It's not like, positioning herself in a leadership role. Positioning herself in a leadership role. And I think that is one of simply Stephanie's issues. Like, instead of acknowledging, okay, I've been, fucked up in Blackistan, USA, and I need to be healing from that. But I can't heal from that and at the same time work. I can't heal from that and at the same time work. I don't have all of that robust energy of a young woman to be able to do all of that. And when I'm telling Cree about, like, what I'm doing in life, like, not just here, yelling at my computer to Black women, not just mothering, working, like, Cree will be like, oh my goodness, you do so much. And then she'll remember, like, yeah, I used to do so much. When I was your age, yeah, I used to be doing so much. I'm not doing all that shit now. Even now, when we've been in doing Black women's work, she would just flat out say, I'm not doing all that. No, I can't do all that. All that I can't do. No, fuck no. I cannot do all of that fucking work. So, on one end, I'm thinking, okay, maybe literally what I said to Stephanie, like, I can't tell if you just an old woman who is going through it, and you can't hear me because of it, because of all of your trauma, like, you aren't able to hear me, or if it's because it's just two different bloodlines. And to this moment, I still don't know. Like, I don't know. I want to say it's two bloodlines to just make it easy, to clean up the mess of, who these separate bloodlines are. But then she does show signs of a love for Black women. Oh. Look, y'all, I don't know what's up. I don't know what's up with Simply Stephanie. But what I do know, and I'm going to tell you the honest to God's truth, Stephanie, because I'm sure you're going to be listening. You trying to put together a Black Women's March in New York City, like, get some young girls to do it. Get somebody else to do that shit. Get some, like, literally, I'm telling you, as a young Black woman that's 36 years old, find some young Black women to do it. That's a lot of fucking work. And I don't know, like, what, like, you think to yourself as a Black woman, like, when at the age of trauma, like, in some ways in your life you get stuck at the age of trauma. And I feel like after debriefing last night, I feel like some parts of me, surely, if I come over here and I'm gonna fight everybody for Beyonce knows. That's a childish thing. Like, I know that's a childish thing. That's a childish thing, right? And in other ways that I might show up and I might be childish. I don't know. But what I do know is that that's some of where I got stuck at in some of my trauma. And until you deal with, like, the places that you are stuck at that needs validation, that needs somebody to say, Stephanie, I see you and I appreciate you, until you get past that part of your trauma, you'll always be overworking because you'll always be trying to be seen. And unfortunately, at this stage in a crone's life, it's not about being seen. Like, you know, and I'm actually, Stephanie, I'm really talking to you very lovingly, because if it was another older black woman, like, it would be a bit more, if it was another bloodline of black women, if I was absolutely fucking sure that it was a separate bloodline of black women, I would have not been like this kind. But I'm just telling you, as I would tell any crone in this space who I feel like is doing too much work to get attention, that it's really, to be honest, it's too late for. You know, it's too late for. We're up next. You know, it's too late for. And the best place for you to position yourself to get, if you need some kind of recognition, is to position yourself around mothers. And we don't even say technically here, like, generations, but like mothers, those women that are in the most, you know, robust time in their life where they got it to do a lot of fucking work. Those women that's in their 30s and 40 years old. Like, to position yourselves around those black women who got it, so that you can be honored and praised amongst them. And really, like, what else do you need? What other validation would a black woman need if we need validation outside of ourselves? Like who else do you need really to acknowledge you and to offer you some fucking praise besides your image and younger women? So I wanted to offer that bit to Stephanie, to everybody that listened to what was said and who was there, and then me not deleting the video, just like, fuck it, I'm taking it down, because I don't want it, you know, I don't want any beefs with myself in any crones. Like, I really don't. I don't want any beefs with myself in any crones. That's why I didn't mute Stephanie or throw her ass off the stage. I wanted to offer her the room to speak. For one, I asked them to speak, and then for two, I want them to be able to get that shit off. But for them to come over here in the mess that we live in and say, listen, I'm fucked up too, mother, we know that. I understand it. I understand that you fucked up too. But right now in this space, what we're trying to figure out is how do we fix it? How do we fix it for the women that's coming up, really? Like, to be honest, what we have lived through. And the thought is not, oh, I lived through this mess, and that's just something that all black women and girls gotta live through. Motherfuck no. I lived through this mess, and I'm going to ensure that younger black women don't have to live through it. And then, another thing for my ladies here, and Stephanie, you about to be mad at this, but damn it, this is where we live at over here. And Ocean of Daughters, I know, you didn't really, like, go back far enough to know, like, what we do over here. And I did say that, you know, the divestors is dumb. I did say that. They dumb and they stuck. But one thing that is going to always stand true, and the only really, like, divested channel that I might dabble in today or tomorrow, just again, Kiki, like, that's all. I'm just going over there to Kiki to see what the fuck going on with C, right? It's divested zealot, and that fucking hashtag all, baby, we live on it over here. That is one thing that a divester said that we live on over here. Hashtag all. So when I say that a black woman cannot raise black sons well, hashtag all, Stephanie. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you that, including you. I hate to be the one to tell you that. If you think that you raised a son better than If you think that you raised a son better than Alberta Williams King, that's Martin Luther King's mother. And if you think that you raised a son better than her, you still failed. Because she did. I ain't gonna be the one to tell you. I know that's hurtful. Black women gotta live in this shit. Martin Luther King's mother herself could not raise a good black son. Okay? Martin Luther King's mother herself, goddess herself, could not raise a good black son. And I'll be damned if black women raising sons as good as her. Like, get the fuck on. Look, Stephanie, that's the line, baby. I hate to be the one to tell you this, but that is the fucking line here. I don't give a damn how good you think those sons are. Baby, black women cannot raise good black sons. That's the bottom fucking line. And you can windmill in these comments all the fuck you want. I said what the fuck I said. The women over here who are in support of me, who saw you in a goddamn chat talking about your good sons, baby, we not buying it. We not going. And the words of DV, when she say hashtag all, baby, we not going. We not going. Now that is one divested woman. That is one divested woman and one divested line that we gonna live with. Hashtag all. Hashtag all, ma'am. Ain't a black woman since the year 1856 birthed a good black son. Since the year of our mother, April 18th, 1856, a black woman has not birthed a good black son since 1856. And his father was white. You hear me? Since April 18th, 1856, ma'am, black women have not bore a son from her womb who was good since then. And that son himself had a white father. Okay? Do we got it now, ladies? So that we know where Preem stands. On April, hold up, let me get my dates right. On January the 1st, 1864, it was a good year for black people. It was a good year for the black collective. We had something. We had something. That was the year from a black woman's womb bore George Washington Carver. Okay? That was the year. It was coming to an end. We wasn't able to do this no more. We not able to do this no more, okay? But on January 1st, 1864, that was when George Washington Carver was born. Okay? And that was a very long time ago. After that, I'm gonna tell you so that we know where Preem stands. On April 5th, 1856, a black woman bore from her womb Booker T. Washington, whom had a white father, by the way. And that was the last of good black men. That was the last of them. That was the absolute positive last one. And if Booker T. Washington himself had a good Y chromosome, it came from his white father. And if he has grandsons today who are great and grand and they are black, they have that same white grandfather's Y chromosome. Okay? That's the hill. I'm 36 years old, and today that is the hill that I'm willing to die on, Stephanie. I don't know in what year, 1980, that you birthed your damn sons, But let me tell you something. Wasn't no son born in 1980 that was a good son. Okay? There have been no good black male sons born since 1865. None. Martin Luther King's mother did not bore a good black son. Did not. Okay? There has been no good son since then. I look. That's that. That's that. Now you can argue, you can fight with yourself in the comments, but I'm telling you what the fuck it is over here. And not only that, and not only is that what it is, but that's what you're gonna have to live with from all of the millennial women who are worth a damn, the millennial women who you want to work with, the millennial women who will revere you as a black woman, as a crone, baby. That's where we live at. I'm telling you, that's where we live at. We don't think that none of your sons is good. None of them. We don't want none of your sons around us. None of us. None of us. Okay? So that was Cree. That was Simply Stephanie. That was Dryalent. Let me just, shout out Dryalent. Dryalent. In case y'all did not know, Dryalent is actually a black woman, a black woman crone who came after the Kendall St. Charles debacle. And Stephanie, this whole black women need to know what I did. Black women need to know what I did. I did this and I did that. I was first. That's that Kendall St. Charles shit that we don't fucking like. That's that shit we don't like. For the record. I just want you to know, that's that shit we don't like. That's why over here we be calling Kendall St. Charles an old bitch. Like that's that shit we don't like. We don't want to fucking hear that shit. We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear I did this and I did this and y'all ungrateful. Listen, we don't want to fucking hear that, especially not from no black woman that got sons. Like, are you crazy? You done birthed our fucking enemy. Like, are you crazy? You have birthed our fucking enemy and you want to keep on telling us, I did this and I did that and I did this. Baby, you ain't did enough. You ain't did enough. Goddess herself made sure that Kendall had a fucking dud. Made sure she had a fucking retarded son so he can't do much. Like, I don't know if your son's just retarded or not. But Goddess herself spared us from that mother-thon son. So, I just want to let you know you're sounding a lot like that bloodline when you come over here with that. That's what you sound like. I'm just letting you know. And Dryalent was a crone who came to look for me after Kendall St. Charles and her pack of bitches and whole room of, I think was it like 200 black women in that room? Dirty bitches. Tried to eat me up for getting pregnant at 14 years old. That was crazy. That was a crazy thing that happened, and Dryalent actually witnessed it and came to look for me as any loving crone would do. Like literally came to look for me and like kiss my boo-boos. Like literally came to look for me and kiss my boo-boos. Like, baby, I'm sorry that happened. Like, for real, I'm sorry that happened, and I'm sorry that it was my image that did that. Like, a representation of an older black woman did that to you. And for that, anywhere I am, she will always have a high seat. Always have a high seat. This is how, like, the crone literally shows up, And then there was Goddess Y, who is in my personal space, and just after all of that mess that happened on stage, like she felt it her responsibility to apologize. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry to every single, like, millennial black woman and younger who heard that tone from Stephanie. Like, my sincerest apologies for any of the triggering that it did for you. Because at one point, my stomach started hurting, and I and I pay good attention to my gut because I know that's where my soul is at. Like, I know that that's where my soul is at. Like, when I get, like, you know, how they be saying that, you know, you get butterflies and they not real butterflies when you around males. It's really your gut scared. Like, yeah, that's how I started to feel during the part where you all heard me, like, silent, and I was in the chat, you know, talking, and I was like, I'm about to just go sit at the kids' table. Yeah. Like, I really felt like, why? And Creed, like, get your sister. Get your sister together, because sis up here making my stomach hurt. Like, I feel sick. Right? So that was happening also. And then in the back, y'all missed it, but yes, Goddess Wide offer her apology on behalf of a woman that was her age, like, because she actually identified with some of what, if you listen, she actually identified with some of Stephanie was saying, like, y'all not gonna blame everything on us. Like, y'all not gonna blame everything on us now. You know, some of this shit, y'all millennials, y'all mothers, y'all gonna carry some of this fucking, you know, it's what she said was, it's enough blame to go around. so y'all gonna carry some of this weight. I mean, we gonna take our portion, but y'all gonna carry some of this. And she actually came up on stage or up on a panel to actually tell Stephanie that, like, baby, listen, I feel exactly where you coming from, but these young girls not gonna hear it. And Stephanie ass got mad at her too. Like, it's like, what's up? Which also brings me to think, like, this may have been two separate bloodlines. Because even Wise, like, listen, I feel where you're coming from, but like, these young girls not gonna hear you. Just, you know, hear what they saying, feel their pain, and then, you know, let them have their moment, you know, basically. And Stephanie was like, fuck no. she couldn't even hear it from a crone. She was like, fuck no. So it might have been two different bloodlines up on the stage. And if you've been here a long time, you know exactly where I'm headed. So maybe that was happening. I don't fucking know. I can't make up my mind yet. Give me some time. But let me just get on to the issue that I noticed last night. We got a problem, and I wanted to ignore the problem. Like, I wanted to, like, never come out and publicly like talk about black women, and that included even Sexy Red and Sukiana. And I just wanted to be like, listen, let them do their own fucking slut shit, and let us mind our fucking business. But I think that is a mistake that our mothers made, right? Because it's two things happening. So Dolores C. Tucker was like, fuck that hip hop shit. Like, I'm ready to fight everybody over it. And our mothers agreed, right? Because they wouldn't let us listen to it in our house. They wouldn't let us listen to it in our houses, right? Like they agreed. Just like I'm in silent agreement with the women who are trashing Sexy Red, right? I'm in silent agreement with them. Like, I'm not going to get all online with these niggas and trash Sexy Red, but I do understand the problem that she is. And this is the same thing that our mothers did, right? Because when we listen to Cree say, when I say, what happened? Like, when did it all begin? And what Cree says, it began with media. It began with already black males' disdain for us, and, you know, saying that we wasn't shit back then, and we wasn't attractive, and we wasn't beautiful, and we wasn't none of the things that a woman wants to be, needs to feel, especially in a society that is honoring a beauty that wasn't yours. And when Cree went on to share this, like, I really felt brokenhearted. Like, I really felt the pain of our mothers. And how they jumped in at the moment for the world to see them as beautiful. They jumped in and took it however they could have it. Right? Where it should have been great and a huge and a loud and angry and an aggressive and a very, you know, known and documented pushback. Like, our mothers push back in our houses by not allowing those images in our houses. C. Dolores Tucker did her work. Whitney Houston literally said, like, I'm not no bitch and no hoe. Ain't nobody gonna call me no bitch and no hoe. Dionne Warwick, I think it was it Dionne Warwick? She invited Snoop to her house and said, nigga, call me a bitch or a hoe right to my face. Right? And it was these small inklings. And then our mothers, like our literal mothers, were like, I'm not playing that shit in my house. Right? Our literal mothers were pushing back on it in our houses, and the little bit of black women that was pushing back on it in media. But it should have been like a huge push from black women to not allow them to do that to our image. So you had two things happening at that time, right? Listening to Cree, you had, first of all, we're not going to see you at all. Or if we are going to see you, we're going to see you as these sluts. And it's not going to be any middle existence for you as a black woman in your true existence, right? And our true existence was something like Whitney Houston. And what video was that? I told y'all Whitney Houston was dressed like from her neck to her feet, right? That was our true existence as black women, like this beautiful woman who was sultry and who was sexy and who was sensual, but she didn't have to take off her clothes to be that way. She didn't have to be vulgar and be nasty to be that way. Like, it was this kind of like, exactly what I said, like, either you're not going to see me at all because I'm not willing to, you know, be this, like, sex kitten you're trying to force me to be. Or if you have to see me now, I have to be the sex kitten. And what's happening is, you know, in our Mother's Day, right, they had Whitney Houston and Patti LaBelle, and, you know, then they had, like, you know, as Chris said, the 2 Live crew came through, and our mothers, again, they were holding on for dear life. Whitney Houston was not taking off her motherfucking clothes. Whitney Houston was not taking off her fucking clothes. Fuck that. Right? And, you know, the women of that time was not taking off their fucking clothes. Like, bitch, you no. It's a fuck no for me, right? But now what we have on our watch, millennials, is the taking off of clothes. We took our clothes off. Yeah, we did. And that's happening on our time, right? So, at the time of C. Dolores Tucker, like, our mothers silently protested in our homes, right? Right? Our mothers are like, that bit bap shit not gonna get played in here. Fuck no. Y'all gotta listen to that outside of here. And we did, right? we did, right? That's what the fuck we did, millennials. That's what we did. Let's just admit it. We did. Our mother said, no, y'all not gonna play that shit in here. I don't want that shit in my house. And we could not wait to get grown so that we could play it. Okay? And get the fuck out of her house. And then on top of that, we began to take our clothes off. Even my dear sister Beyonce, naked as hell. Everywhere you look, naked as fucking hell. And now, getting to my call of action, it's like, now what do we do? Because here we are right now. Like, we are in the moment, in our 30s, where the world is seeing us all naked. Right? The world is seeing us all naked. Like, it took a little bit of work for, you know, the generations before us. Like, our mothers was fighting for their dear life. You know what I'm saying? Whitney Houston fighting so bad, she got the fuck on crack. The shit was too much for her to deal with. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's living in this time, and it's too much for her to deal with. She started doing crack. Janet Jackson started going to go fuck up her face and fuck up her nose. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like the Aretha Franklins, the Patti LaBelles, they were all pinned against each other. In case y'all didn't know, Anita Baker get high as hell. I went to go see her. She was high the whole fucking show. And Anita Baker sounded the same fucking way, though. I'm going to tell y'all that. Whatever Anita Baker is doing to get high, it's not coming through her mouth. Because you think, like, you know, when Whitney started smoking crack towards the end, like, her voice was not as grand as it once was because of crack. But whatever Anita Baker's on, baby, it gotta be dope because it's not affecting her voice at all. Anita Baker sounds the exact same way as she sounded when my mother used to play her, right? And I'm smiling at the thought, y'all. For my mother's birthday, in case y'all missed it, I went to go see Anita Baker in Tennessee. Me and Puddin', it was a beautiful trip. But yeah, Anita Baker was high as fuck the whole fucking time. She was yelling, like, all those reviews you seen of Anita Baker yelling, like, she was yelling. But when she did sing, though, when she did the little bit of singing that she did do, she sounded, I mean, as beautiful as she always sounded. Alright, so here we are as millennials and everybody clothes off. Like, you can't even think of a artist like, no, we're not getting as bad as, but we see where it's going, right? We see, so we got millennials, like, you know, Beyonce, all the people I listen to be honest, Beyonce, SZA, I listen to Jasmine Sullivan. She ain't got naked yet. She not gonna get naked. Janae Aiko, she not really black. Rappers, Lil Kim, naked as fuck. Nicki Minaj, naked as fuck. These are millennials I'm just naming. Who else? Damn, is that all the music artists? Is that all the music artists I listen to? No, I listen to this girl, that song, These Niggas for Everybody, y'all, for the millennials. No, I'm laughing, but really, I shouldn't be listening to that shit. I should not be listening to that shit. Like, that shit is dirty. The song These Niggas for Everybody, who sing that song? Cash Doll, K Michelle, be naked sometimes. Like, they finally just got us to be naked. Like, they just got our clothes off. And now the question is, all right, if our mothers got it wrong, see, Dolores Tucker was fighting her fight by herself, and our mothers were silently protesting in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were silently protesting. They was not loud. They was not loud on their pushback. And the women who were loud was the women that was pushing back against C. Dolores Tucker. But our mothers agreed with her. They just didn't, you know, do what was necessary to support her. So now we have to figure out in the mess that we live in where they finally got black women naked. They finally got a holy thing out here being naked all the fucking time. Now what we have to figure out as millennials is, what do we do about this? Like, now, knowing what our mothers got wrong, and that was the silent protest, right? I'm not going to listen to Sexy Red, right? I'm not going to listen to Sexy Red. Like, that shit not played in my house. You know, Pudding got in my car one time and she started playing Glorilla. And I'm like, what in the fuck is this? You know, like what in the fuck is this? And on my fucking radio, I was acting like my mother. What the fuck is this bit back on the fucking radio, girl? But you know, some conversations gotta be said on the back end. But what I will say is that when something has gone so far left, because it's gone so far left, we have to take it so far right again. So in that moment, when putting in my car playing Glorilla, what I should have did was turned it the fuck off. And now she's grown, so I can't really forbid her to listen to it because she's grown. But like, for the women who have like young daughters, like, it wasn't enough for our mothers just not to play it. They should have forbid us to listen to it. Like, letting us go and play it in our room, like letting me go listen to Lil Kim in my room, my mother shouldn't have did that. Letting me, you know, try to, you know, be a hot girl when Cash Money was taking over for the 99 and 2000s, like, not only should my mother have said, like, don't play that shit in here. When I was up in my room, like, she should have taken the CDs and not allowed me to listen to it at all. And I know that seems like crazy for you to do that to your daughters, but baby, what else can we do at this point? And yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. And this is not only like just a video in which I'm talking, like, I like to know our suggestions. I like to know what we think that we can do to stop the fucking whole train that is now black women. Because it's only gonna, if back in the 80s and 90s it was getting bad, and now in the year 2000, the 99 to the 2000s, we saw how bad it got. And now we got Sexy Red out here being the example for black women. At first it used to be black males leading it. Like, they were telling black women, like, how to be sluts and whores. But now it's black women setting up the standard that we are sluts and whores. And, like, how do we now, today, how do we stop this whole train from going any further? Or is it too late to even stop the whole train from going any further? And that is why, in my soul, and Mad Soul, and the women that I'm in community with soul, it's just like, let's just hide. Like, literally, let's just hide. It's too far gone. Like, let us just hide. It's getting too bad. It's no recovering from this. We just gotta hide. And, like, I won't say what's gonna happen. Especially if such gentle ears are around. It was a young lady in my chat, Butterfly. Please email me. I hope that you are well. I said all this at the end of the video, but I should have said it at the beginning. But yeah, you just crossed my mind, because it's just such a fucking mess that black women are living in, and we really don't know what to do. So yes, actually, Butterfly is actually a beautiful name for you, actually. So anyhow, that was my debriefing. That was my call to action. That's my now. But listen, what I got, y'all want to know what I got? If y'all want to know what I got, like, y'all have to come into my Patreon and into my backspace, because, like, it's really going to hiding. Like, it's too many of them at this point for us. Like, it's more of them than us. Like, it's nothing that we can do about it now, is what I feel like. It's nothing now. And if you feel differently, like, please share your comments. Like, if you feel like it's something that we can do to combat this, other than completely separate from it, like, not even just, like, divesting from Blackistan, but, like, divesting from black women that are not of us. And divesting from black women that are not of us, and being in the fucking house as they begin to kill off black women faster and quicker. Like, let it, like, to be honest, y'all, let it be them and not us. We need to be in the house. We need to be in hiding. Let it be them and not us. So, that's all I got, y'all.